everybody, and welcome back to the sofa. Today, we are going to learn a little bit more about the four main voice parts: soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Those voice parts are put into categories based on the range of the voice. The range is how high or how low we can sing. Now, instead of just talking about those voice parts, I have some friends who are going to help me show you what they sound like.
My name is Sarah, or as my students call me, Mrs. Schaub, and I sing soprano. I sang all growing up. I sang in everything I could at school. I loved my music classes. But the first choir that I sang with outside of school was when I was about 8 years old. I sang in a community choir. When I was 10, I started to take private voice lessons. So I sang all throughout high school. After I graduated, I went to school for musical theater. I also got a vocal performance degree in music, and I got an education degree. And so that's what I do now. I'm a teacher, so I teach music to students grades 1 through 4 in a school in Fort Saskatchewan, which is just outside of Edmonton. But I still do lots of singing, even though teaching is my full-time job. I sing with Procoro Canada, which is a professional choir that all of the singers that you've heard today have sung with or do sing with. And I also get to do some solo stuff. So of course, solo is when you sing by yourself. And so I might sing a soprano solo with a choir, or a soprano solo with an orchestra, or with a band. And I mostly sing classical music, but I've had some really cool opportunities singing in lots of different styles of music. So here's what a soprano part might sound like. So just a scale, when I go up the notes and back down, it's called a scale, and that'll show you about how high and how low I sing. So it sounds like this. So, a song that you may have heard of, or a small part of a song that you may have heard of, that has a really cool soprano part, goes like this. You may recognize it. That is from Disney's Frozen 2, and you hear that theme all throughout. It's sort of calling Elsa throughout the movie. At the very end of the song, Into the Unknown, you hear... So again, you get that nice high note. And that's what I love about singing soprano, is that you get some of those really fun high notes.
Hello, I'm Amy, or as my students know me, Ms. Voyer, and I sing alto. Most of my singing background is in choral music, in singing with a choir. I loved singing when I was a kid, and so I first joined a community choir when I was 9 years old, when I was in grade 4. And I actually sang in that choir with David, who is the bass singer that you're gonna meet right away. And so I sang with that choir organization as I grew up, through elementary school and junior high and high school. And once I got to university, I loved singing in choirs so much, I started to join a whole bunch of other choirs here in Edmonton too. Currently, I still sing with a choir. I sing with Procoro Canada, as Sarah mentioned. I sing with a vocal ensemble. I sing myself for events like weddings. And, as you know, I teach elementary music. So, we just heard a little bit from Frozen and a little bit of that higher soprano part. Now, the main melody from Into the Unknown is actually more of what we call a mezzo-soprano range. It's kind of like it's in between soprano and alto. Into the unknown, into the unknown, into the unknown. You'll notice that the beginning is a little bit lower pitch, and that's where alto lives. Alto is lower in pitch than soprano. Their range is lower. That is around the lower end of a typical alto range. That is my chest voice. So sometimes altos might sing the melody like I just did, but because altos are lower in pitch than the sopranos, most of the time we sing harmony.
Hi, my name's Caleb Nelson, and I sing tenor in choir. I actually started singing in choir fairly late, relatively speaking, given what I do for a living. I'm a professional singer. My first love actually was trumpet. My dad played trumpet when I was very young, and so I learned trumpet when I was in grade 6 or 7, something like that. I grew up in a household where my family sang. We sang freely. We were welcome to sing, but I was never in a choir when I was young. So my first group music experience was playing the trumpet in grade 6. And so all through junior high, I played trumpet. I took piano lessons before that as well. And it wasn't until high school where I actually finally joined a choir. And since then, it's been such a big part of my life, really huge part of my life. What I do for a living is teach people about how their ears hear music and how their eyes see music and how their voices sing music and how their fingers feel it. So I teach people, a lot of people, voice lessons. I teach a lot of people ear training lessons. I teach people theory lessons, but mostly I'm a teacher of music and music related things. As a tenor, I sing quite high a lot of the time. Is about as high as I can go without flipping into falsetto or going into more of a belting range. And now I'll go into falsetto. Or I can go into more of a pressed belting, pressed phonation sort of thing. It gives you a couple of options when you can learn to press your voice in this sort of a way. Into the unknown versus into the unknown. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. Let me see if I can do the third one. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. So don't try that at home unless you really know what you're doing. But if you learn how to manipulate your vocal cords, you can do a lot of fun things with them. And to not do it too much or too hard or too often. Very important.
Hi, I'm David McCune, and I sing bass. I started singing in choirs when I was 7, and I sang with Miss Voyer in choirs for about 15 years. In university, I studied music, and after I graduated, I moved to Europe. Right now, I live in Bulgaria, and I travel around Europe singing with professional choirs and small musical ensembles. As a bass in choir, it's our job to sing the lowest notes. So if we sing a pop song like Uptown Funk, we sing the bass line. Do, 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 do. In an opera or a musical, basses usually sing old men, kings, and especially villains, like Shere Khan in The Jungle Book. That's what friends are for. In classical choral music, there are some special pieces where the basses really get to stand out.
Now that you've heard a little bit of what sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses sound like, we have 2 songs that we are going to sing for you so that you can listen and hear what it sounds like when all of those parts work together. Now, this video is not going to have the entire song. We are just going to show you a little part of each one. But if you really enjoy listening to them, we have recorded the whole thing for you. So I have put the links down below. The first one that we are going to sing for you is a very old piece of music written by a composer named Tomás Luis de Victoria. This piece is called O Magnum Mysterium, and the words are in Latin. This piece is often sung at Christmas time because it talks about the nativity. If you would like to read the translation, if you would like to read what the words mean in English, I will put that down below. Now, the soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, at the beginning of this song, they all come in at different times. So see if you notice when each person starts to sing. Ooh. Our next song that we are going to sing for you is called Rather Be. It's a song that you might recognize. Originally, it was by a group named Clean Bandit. Then, the singing group Pentatonix did their own version of it, and so we are going to be singing an arrangement of the Pentatonix version that was written by our friend Jane Berry. See if you can hear who has the melody throughout the song. I'll give you a hint. It's not just going to be one person. It's actually going to switch between parts.
La-da-da-da-da-dum, la-da-da-da-da-dum-dum, la-da-da-da-da-dum, la-da-da-da-da-dum-dum, la-da-da-da-da-dum, la-da-da-da-da-dum-dum, la-da-da-da-da. We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea, but as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea, as long as I am with you. My heart continues to beat.
With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, give you another name, switch up the batteries.
If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Know with all of your heart you can chain me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. Ooh, da-da-da-da-da. Staked out on a mission to find our inner peace. Oh, me.
Now, if you're really curious and you would like to hear even more, I have made videos where each voice part is a little bit louder. So for example, if you would like to hear what the bass part sounds like in one of the songs, there is a video that you can click on that features the bass. The bass you'll be able to hear more than the other parts. I hope you enjoyed listening and learning all about soprano, alto, tenor, and bass today. I would like to say a huge thank you to my friends for helping me make this video. To Sarah, Mrs. Schaub, to Caleb, who not only sang tenor in the video, but he also did the audio. He was the one that mixed all of our singing together. Didn't it sound great? And to David. Don't forget, if you want to listen to more of our singing, there's a whole bunch of links down below. As always, let's clap out together before we go. Ready? 1, 2,